Stephen Olveda here with Brad Shimabuku, the unspoken, maybe unheralded hero of Game 7. This is our final national championship Zoomcast recap. Brad was a little bit of a hero in that last game. Along with Mason Collins, he was outstanding. After a year ago today, the Panthers were walking off the field with a national championship under their belt and a trophy that I'm sure a lot of people wanted to just hug and never let go. And a few months later, picked up some of those right there. Thought I put mine on, put the shirt on, want to relive it as long as I can. Before we get too into the national championship and talking to Brad, I do want to shout out our Chapman women's soccer team and overall our Chapman athletics teams. Our 21 teams, I think, are all kind of going to share in this. They have joined a movement for collegiate athletes for Black Lives Matter. This is a GoFundMe page that you can search and donate to if you feel so inclined. The point of this movement is on June 8th, which is Monday. Collegiate athletes are going to run or bike or swim or whatever it is, a combination of all of it for 8.46 miles to acknowledge the 8 minutes and 46 seconds that George Floyd was forcibly held down by Minnesota police. And they hope to bring awareness to racism, social injustice, and equality through a new light. And all proceeds that you donate to this GoFundMe will go directly to Black Lives Matter. So know that your money is going to a good place that will hopefully enact some change in our country. So they will run, move 8.46 miles. If you want to do that in solidarity with them, you're welcome to as well. But you can donate to this GoFundMe, which will be up on social media, probably all over. You can see this is I believe it started at UC Santa Barbara and is now sort of a nationwide movement across probably every division or every level of collegiate athletics. So now we'll bring in Brad Shimabuku. Brad, a trying time for all of us, and I know we wish we were in Cedar Rapids right now trying to defend the title. I think you told Lav last year that you're going to be back this year, and hopefully your plan can stay true for next year. But
yeah, that was always the goal. Exactly, just get back there. But it's unfortunate what happened, but we have to deal with it, so it's not a big deal.
Life throws you curveballs, right? And sometimes you just got
exactly.
Yeah. Well, how are you doing with the quarantine? How was finishing up school online?
So yeah, everything was good. I went back home after they announced we were having online classes, so I kind of packed up my stuff, came back to Northern California, and I've just been here with my parents and some friends who came back as well. Finished up school online, had a pretty decent semester, just studying, and because there's nothing else to do, no baseball, so I could fully focus to my academic success. And yeah, it's pretty much it. Just been here in quarantine, I guess.
Have you stayed sharp? Did you create a little home gym in the backyard? You just do some at-home workouts? Do you have a tee in the backyard?
Yeah, so I work out with some buddies sometimes. I got a tee in the backyard and a lot of body weight stuff. So we're just trying to do as much as I can while we're in this pandemic.
Anxious to get back out there in the fall. Hopefully, I know the president Strupa has announced plans to come back in the fall, and so I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Absolutely,
getting back to baseball as well.
Of course.
Now to baseball. To this day, a year ago, Game 1, you sat and watched from the bench. Can you tell us why you missed that Game 1? Obviously, it was an injury, and you were able to enter in Game 2. But tell us what the injury was, and then we'll get into some more of the other stuff in a little bit.
Yeah, so I think it was – so the injury ended up being a stress fracture, but at the time I had no idea what it was. It was just pain in my back, and I remember I think it was the game UMass-Boston, the winner go home of the second day. I was just feeling really bad back pain, and I could barely walk. And it was just overwhelming almost to a point. I remember Coach Fox in the UMass Boston game I'm talking about, he gave me a steal sign when I was on first base. I just remember I went 2 steps and I just couldn't move, and I just got picked off, and it's like, oh well, okay. So that happened. But other than that, yeah, it was just really bad back pain. Watching from Game 1 was a little tough, because I've been starting in center field the whole time. But it was good to see that Mars stepped up for us and helped us to get a victory in that Game 1.
How
I was
good was
happy to see
your
that.
how good was your pitching in those 3 games? I mean, if you really look at the whole week, Tyler had a rough outing, and then Mason had a bad outing right after that. They both came back in this championship series and threw great starts on short rest.
Mhm.
How good were those guys?
Everybody was phenomenal. I mean, you had Briggs on here. He really stepped up. Riley Glenn too, coming in, I think game 4 against UMass Boston. We were down. We were in the losers bracket and we had to beat them twice. He had a huge start for us. Hernandez, Peck, Collins, our big 3. They came big when we needed them the most. Garcia and Cody have been shut down all year, and it showed in playoffs. So it's something that we expected, to have really good pitching. It's something we knew that would probably propel our team to be at the top, and I think it definitely helped that they all had really good outings in times in the postseason when we needed them the most.
For you, a freshman, I don't think you were necessarily slated to be a starter. Even in February, I don't think you, or January when you guys took the field for the first time for the first spring practice, it wasn't you necessarily at the top of the lineup or in center field at that moment. But you, when things happened throughout the season, you became the center fielder, and then you made it so that Lav couldn't take you out, and you ended up at the top of the order. So I think that's a pretty unique experience for a freshman to come in and not only make the starting lineup, but to lead off every game. What was that like for you, an experience as a freshman to come in and know that you're kind of setting the tone every single day?
Yeah, so when I first came in, I honestly I didn't expect to play. I knew I would have some opportunities and I have to make the most of them. But as a freshman, you come in, you kind of feel that out in the fall. In the fall, I probably wasn't starting with the main guys, you could say. But I remember it was our first Skyax series. It was Saruda and Kevich. Kevich dove for a ball, hurt his shoulder, and then Saruda kind of like he got pegged in the head, and he had a concussion. And then Lav texted me that night. He was like, "Hey, be ready to go tomorrow." I was like, "Okay, let's go." I'm getting my shot, and I kind of just had to step up in that moment. And I knew after that, like the rest is history. I'm doing well. I can perform at a level I want to perform at, and I'm here. I can do this. It's just a confidence boost that we needed.
Taking full advantage of every opportunity, and I think that's something that you look for. That's what every, I think, teacher, coach preaches in life, is take advantage of your opportunities, and that's definitely taking full advantage of that opportunity. And now we're joined by our special surprise guest, Ashley Raciak, who
Ashley.
Ashley is athletic trainer for specifically working with the baseball team.
Yes. Happy 1 year anniversary.
Hi, Jim.
Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
Ash.
Good.
Are you wearing your gear? Because I've got my national championship right now. I've got my shirt.
You know what? I didn't bring it with me. I knew I forgot something. I'm not in town, and I'm on a vacay right now. So.
And I think Ashley just arrived to her vacation spot, so we want to thank her for taking the first few minutes to talk to us.
No problem.
Now, Brad, so you work all this time, you get the opportunity to be a leadoff hitter, to play every day in center field, and then you get to the biggest moment of the season, probably of your career, and all of a sudden your back is stiff. You can barely move. You feel pain all the time. So tell us, where do you think that injury happened, or how did it happen? Was it just something that was overworked over time, or did something happen during one of the games? And what you were feeling, maybe what you told Ashley that morning.
Yeah, so I think I told it was at the field. I told Ashley, I was like, this really hurts. I'm not sure I can do much. Can you help me out? And she did the most she could. But I think I really can't pinpoint an exact spot where it started happening. I think it was just overusage of over time, going one direction with the swing and throwing. And, it does take a toll on your body, playing that many games, a whole extra month, baseball. And so I think just the overuse of my body probably wasn't used to that. Being a freshman, I'm not prepared at a college level to overwork my body as much as I did coming out of high school.
That's a lot. It was a long season. You really look at it, it's about a season and a half of what you probably expected to play. And Ashley, what did you think when he first came to you and kind of gave you his symptoms, and Did you think, we're going to do this, we're getting him right back in, or did you think, man, we're going to have to work really hard to get him even a chance at playing today?
I was pretty confident in the beginning that, I was going to use everything in my tool belt that I had to get him out there. I wanted him in the game as much as he wanted to be in the game. And I think it was a day or 2 days before when he, started saying, okay, my back's really hurting here. And so I pulled out all the stops. I had our team physician call in a prescription for him that I think, finally started kicking in right when we needed it to. And so with that, and then just all the other treatments that I did soft tissue, and I used the Theragun on him, stretching, combination of heat and ice. And I just pulled out all the stops, and I'm like, this is it, and this is why I love what I do. And I'm so determined and motivated to get him back in. And fortunately he came in at the right time, and everything kind of clicked. So I was happy about that.
Now, when was the decision made that he wasn't going to be able to go in that first game? Was that something that was kind of game time, or even going to the field? Brad, did you know that, I'm probably not going to be able to go right away, but I'm going to do my best to get loose?
The first game, I don't even think I was on the field when we first broke out. I think I was still in the training room with Ash, and she was trying to just help me out as much as I could. So yeah, I think it definitely wasn't game time. It was way before that. Until I was like, Coach, I don't think this is looking good. And I wanted to be out there, but it was just for the betterment of the team that I was out for that first game.
And watching that game, and for those, you couldn't see it if you're watching online, pretty much between every inning, I think you were with Ashley or with Phil or on the field eventually trying to run and get loose. And so Brad was working constantly throughout that first game and that second game to do anything he could to get in. Knowing we were going to play 2 that day, I know you got about a 7-hour window to probably try to get to a spot where you could play. What was it like in that first game? And obviously, Birmingham Southern scores first, but Tyler settles in and you guys take the lead. And how was that a motivating factor for you to get in the game, knowing that, your team's going to win this first game, or you're winning this first game, and it looks like you're going to take it, you can clinch a national title today instead of waiting until tomorrow?
It motivates you a lot seeing your team go out there and performing at the best of their abilities, and then you kind of just want to be a part of it somehow. And so, it was great seeing them, cheering them on from the bench, but you want to be out there with them,
And actually, what was that like during the game to, you're sitting there too, and you're worried about the players in the field, and you're enjoying the moment, and at the same time, you've got this like kind of special project off to the side. Every 5-10 minutes, you're gonna go with them and give them something new to do. Did you have a plan of action, like we're gonna take step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're gonna be ready by this time, or was it just like, let's keep pushing and see if we can get there?
Honestly, I was just going with the flow, and thankfully I had Phil, who was my athletic training student at the time, to help me, with kind of the other stuff, going on the field, and if anybody else needed anything. And so I was just trying to multitask. I really feel like I experienced every emotion, possible that weekend and that day in particular. And so adrenaline was going, and it seemed like Shimmy was getting a little bit better, like as the time went on, and I'm like, okay, something's working. I even had Phil's girlfriend Tessa go to the store to buy him a back brace. And so I just pulled out all the stops. I'm like, okay, rummaging through my kit. What does this do? Can this work? Maybe I'll try this. Haven't tried that yet. And so it was just a combination of going back and forth into the athletic training room, grabbing heating pads for him. And so it was a combination of that, and definitely, the prescription medication. And fortunately, everything clicked, right as we needed it to. And he came in and was feeling good, right, like I said, right when we needed him. It happened in the perfect timing.
What does that say about Shimmy here, that he's able to put in all this work, or he was, that determined to get in? And probably grit through a little bit of pain through the whole process, and even through playing. What did that teach you about him as a player, and as a guy that you work with constantly?
It made me just feel honored, to work with him. And when you have a combination, of an athletic trainer who's, so passionate and so determined to win, and an athlete that is going to, do the work on his end and be committed to, helping himself and helping him. I saw so much and so much determination, and just passion for his and his teammates, and definitely exuded a lot of pride, and passion was awesome.
Right, we're gonna bring in some video now. This is Shimabuku, your first at bat here in the second game. You guys had won game 1, and through game 2, you'd been no hit through 6 innings. And I'm sure, and you watched that part of the game too. You were still trying to get loose. Did you feel yourself getting closer and closer and closer as that game went on?
Yeah. So I think what the remedy was this thing called Red Hot. It's kind of like, I don't know, Ashley, do you want to explain what Red Hot is? You still here? Okay. Well, okay.
Instead of unmuted, Ashley.
So Red Hot is like it's a gel thing that makes everything really hot. And so I kind of slapped that on my back, or she slapped it on my back, and it was so hot that I physically just couldn't stop moving, or else it would like literally burn my back. So at that point I knew, I was like, okay, I can do this. So then in between innings, I would go out, like as you said, and work on my running, sprint in the bullpen. And then at one point I told Phil, hey, Phil, come watch me. I can run, I can go. And he saw me, he said it looked good, relayed that information to Ashley, and then Ashley relayed that information to Coach Laverty, and Mars's spot came up in the lineup, and then he said, are you ready to go? I said, yeah, let's go. And it's kind of what happened here.
All right, so what's going through your mind here as you're stepping into the box, taking first swings and moving? You necessarily hadn't really swung a bat probably too hard up until that point.
Yeah, so going through my mind here was, get a ball up. You got a runner in scoring position, Hank, a really good base runner. See a ball up, something you can drive. I think I take here or swing. No, yeah, definitely take.
First one was a ball. I don't think you take a swing until about the 3rd pitch of the at bat or 4th pitch of the at bat.
Yeah, there was one questionable call. I was like, okay, same spot, I think, and it was called a strike or something. But then I think we get a pass ball at some point. I think I get to 1-2 and it's a pass ball, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's a pass ball.
So, yeah.
It goes on for a while. So you're still looking for something up. Are you feeling your back at all at this point, or are you?
No, you got the adrenaline going and some nerves going, or coming in off the bench in a two-runner on situation in the bottom of the 7th. When you're only up 1, so I'm just trying to look for something to drive, just see pitches.
And again, no hits so far for the Panthers. They a couple of errors and a sack bunt, and then a Drew Litwin sack fly is what got that run on the board. So right now the Panthers have 1 run and no hits. But Mason Collins is cruising on the other end of the other end of the inning. I think this is your first swing here.
Fell off, yeah.
So how does that feel once you? You take a pretty big cut at it. You don't look like you're holding back anything there.
Oh yeah, I was trying to swing as hard as I can. Yeah. So looking back at that could have been bad. Popping out and foul ground. I thought it went further than it actually did, but good thing it got down.
Ashley, what do you see in there? His first swing. Are you looking at his first swing closely and just praying that he just goes right back into the box and doesn't say anything?
Yeah, I'm kind of like so tense in the dugout watching him, and I'm like, oh God, please let him be okay. And I'm like, okay, with each swing, I'm like, okay, he doesn't look like he's holding back. He looks okay, still looking okay. And I'm like looking at Phil and I'm just like, oh dear God, please, please, please. So yeah, and he looked pretty good. And I'm like, all right, you know, if you can tolerate it, you know, you're in, you're going to play, ready to go. You know, this is it for all the marbles.
And so here, there's the pass ball or the wild pitch that Shimabuku had talked about earlier. Hank goes down to third, and Birmingham Southern decides to challenge it. So we take a little bit of time off here.
Risky play by Hank, but obviously it paid out. Looking back at it, a lot closer than I thought it was. You know, I thought he got in there coming from or having the angle at the plate, but I guess the second angle with the cameras and everything and the replay, it was a lot closer than I thought it would be.
It was pretty close, but you know, he'd been on the base pass a lot, right? So he kind of knows
right.
what he's there.
Exactly.
Right here. Yeah, I think it's only 30 seconds. We're still waiting. You know, baseball replays how they work.
So,
How are you feeling as you're sitting there? I mean, like the last thing you want to do is probably stop what you're doing and then stop that bat and have time to think about your back or have something tighten up. So how are you feeling during this? I think it's about a 2 or 3 minute stoppage.
yeah, it was pretty long. I mean, it was a close play, obviously, so they're going to try to get the call right. I don't know what I was doing, to be honest. I think I might have gone back to the dugout and talked to Lab, see what if he wanted to do something here, like a bunt or something. But then looking back, I think it was 1-2. So I was just trying to get my mind right to, you know, get the job done at hand. I was looking for something up or something I could drive, and I think it was a curveball. I read the loop and I got good barrel on it, and then drove it
We all
up the
went
middle.
crazy.
Drove it up the middle, and then
your pitching so far had been phenomenal, right? From Mason
exactly.
and Taylor and
Yes.
Monty, and they're going to make the call here. And then you're in the 7th inning, so I think Gar's probably shut down for the day with the 1 game lead here in the series.
Yeah,
but I think Cody's ready to go as well. So you know you've got some arms in the back of the bullpen, so you got to be feeling pretty confident, even if we don't get a hit here, that that you guys are still sitting in a good spot with the lead. Do you feel that way, or are you just like, we have to?
Yeah, no, definitely, because you have Mason up there, and you know he's going to give it his all. It's his last game he's ever going to play in college, so he's going to give it all he's got. And I had full confidence that he would go all 9, because he just had that. When Mason's in a zone, you can tell he's in a zone, and he was in that zone that day.
And here's the infield's drawn in now. And there you go. That's the first hit of the day, and it's going to just be a soft little liner in the center, just enough to score a run there. And there's the dugout going wild, and I think I turned it on Ashley at this point. I think I'm chanting MVP to Ashley, sitting in the camera well, knowing that everything she did to get you ready.
Exactly. The real MVP.
How does that feel? You know, you work – this is what – we got to the ball field, 6 hours before this? So you've been working for 5-6 hours just trying to get to the point where you can play. And here you are. You get your first chance and you come through. And not only do you come through with an RBI single, but it's the biggest spot in that it's the first hit of the game. And it really gives you all the momentum that you're going to need to win this game.
Yeah, you know, it feels great coming off the bench and doing your job, helping out the team. And that's the ultimate goal is, you know, help your team win. And I was glad I was able to come through in that situation and push another run across for Mason, you know, giving him more confidence, probably more than he needed to go out and close the game.
And now you're back. You're probably not feeling anything at this point. You're just feeling a little bit of probably adrenaline and
a lot of adrenaline
that with
and emotion.
Jubilation, and you're not feeling any pain anymore.
No, yeah, it was all adrenaline, all the red hot. Just a lot of emotion, and yeah, I was able to get through it.
No, Ash, I know you're not a parent yet, but this has got to feel like a proud mama moment for you, for a better term, right?
Yeah, it definitely was. It's fun. They're all the guys are kind of like my little brothers, so it was almost more of like a sibling type feel. But I went crazy. I was like, this is why I do what I do. I was so excited and just so emotional and so happy for Shimmy. And for him to be able to do that for the team was just awesome. And I was just ecstatic and just super proud, you know, that I do what I do, and I was there, and I was able to help get him in.
Now, baseball is more than just hitting. You actually got to go out in the field, and it's not like you play a position where you just kind of stand still, right? You got to
No,
the ground out there in center field. And Lab didn't take it easy on you by putting you in center instead of putting you in left or something like that, where you maybe don't have to cover quite as much ground. So right away, Shimabuku is entered into center field. He stays in to play defense. Like you said, the back's loose, and the red hot's probably making it feel even looser than it actually is. But you get tested almost immediately. I think this is the first or second pitch of this at bat. That's going to skip ahead, obviously, on me because I queued it up right. No. So you come in the right center field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you come in, you know, there's always that stigma like, the ball's going to find you. And it did happen to find me. So, you know, you got to be prepared.
A 3-0 lead for Chapman here. And so, you know, you got to just kind of keep guys off the pace pass. You're 6 outs away from a national championship.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, off the bat, it was a well hit ball. I knew it was like the air in Cedar Rapids, it kept the ball up. So that was good. I knew every fly ball or line drive, we were going to have somewhat of a chance to get there. And luckily that ball kind of just stayed up there with the air. And I was able to go out and get that. I remember Cerruta was just like, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. And I was like, okay, I got it. And then I just kind of laid out there and dove and got it.
You can see how far you had to move for that ball. Not only did you have to dive for it, but you covered a ton of ground to get there. Going into the dive, are you thinking, man, this is going to hurt, but I got to do it? Or are you just really laser focused on the ball?
I was just really worried that Coach Eddie would be mad if I didn't dive. So I had to just kind of lay out there and make sure he's happy. Make sure we're giving it our all. If you're going to put me in, you know, I got to be 100%.
No, Ashley, I mean, you had to be a little bit worried seeing where that ball
Oh my
hit
gosh.
and seeing him tracking it, knowing what was coming, because we all knew it was coming as the ball hung up in the air for what seemed like forever.
Yeah, I was holding my breath, and I'm like, oh my gosh, get there, Shim. And I think like right before that, I think Coach Fox had said something to Lab, like, are you sure he's good to go? And as the ball's in the air, I think Lab was thinking something like, well, we'll see if he gets there. We'll see right now. And like, we're like looking at our watch, like, oh my gosh, how much hang time? And then Shimmy just dives out of nowhere and gets there. And yeah, it was just another moment where we were like, oh my God, I'm so glad he got in this game. Like, he was the fuel that we needed and just started all the momentum right there.
And when he comes back in the dugout, are you going up to him right away? Like, are you expecting him to be like, oh, that hurt, I need to do something else now, or I need to keep him in the game, or take him out, or what happens when he comes back in?
I kind of figure, I'm like, no, he, you know, got that hit, he made that catch. I'm like, oh, he doesn't feel a thing right now, you know, with all the adrenaline. And I mean, of course I'm worried, but I'm like, hey, like, we'll take care of whatever it is later. And I knew he was okay. I mean, of course I'm like, are you okay? And he just had all the adrenaline going. And so I'm like, yep, nothing's stopping him now.
Well, I think that's all I got for you, Ash. If you want to go enjoy your vacation now, we'll let you go. We'll finish this up with Brad.
Sounds good. Thank you. Good to see you guys, and happy World Series anniversary.
Absolutely.
Bye, Ash.
Thanks, Ashley.
See ya.
All right. So what are your thoughts now as you're coming off the field? All right, you make that catch. You're coming back in for the 8th now. You're 3 outs away from a national title. What's going through your head? I mean, back, no back, it doesn't matter. What are you really thinking as you go in? You got a 3-0 lead. This is still a ball game.
Yeah, you know, I was filled with emotions, you know, being a super adrenaline rush from the catch. Just everything was going right for us, and that's kind of what drove me, I guess, to finish out the game. You know, be there with my teammates and everything like that. So I mean, I was just happy, overjoyed, you could say. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't really feeling anything at that point. It was kind of euphoria.
what's it like playing behind Mason when he's locked in like that? I mean, the guy couldn't seem to do no wrong that day, and really set a tone when everything could have gone wrong. Like you said, the offense had no hits through 6 innings. There was really not much sport to speak of up until that point, but he kind of kept his head down and kept matching the other side, pitch for pitch. But what is it like to see a pitcher go out and do that and then enter the game behind him and know that whatever you do is just going to get him closer to the ultimate goal?
Yeah, exactly. So, seeing him in that zone, you just have to squeeze a few runs here and there to get, because he's going to be shut down. We've seen it in Skyac play. We've seen him in postseason. He can be a dominant pitcher, and that day he was probably the most dominant I've ever seen him. And there was no way we were going to lose that game if we scored a couple runs.
Now, what about the other freshman in the lineup, Drew Litwin? We didn't get him on a Zoomcast today, but he really had kind of the biggest moment through the first 6 innings, besides Mason doing what he was doing. You got gifted. They say defense wins championships, and in this case, the defense might have kind of lost it for Birmingham Southern a little bit. They made a couple of errors. They got an error to get a guy on base. They made an error on a sacrifice bunt where they were trying to give up an out. And then you got another sacrifice bunt. So you got second and third with no out or with 1 out and no hits on the board. And then Litwin comes up and gets a fly ball. And that, earlier, a couple days before, he had the walk, extra innings that gave you guys a lead before Wong's big double or big single that scored 3 runs. What does that say about him? He seems to come up in these big spots and really perform. And for a freshman to be able to do something like that, both of you.
Right. Yeah, no, he's just clutch. I mean, he comes up in big situations and he gets the job done. I mean, he's great defensively. We probably had the best left-hand side of the infield I've ever seen with him and Penny. But yeah, he's just a clutch player. He knows the moments that are big for the team. He knows how to shift the momentum, and he does that in the field as well as with these at-bats like that walk and the big sac fly. He just comes up when we need him to, and that's kind of been the story of that whole team. It's just guys coming up when we need them to and performing.
And to say something too, it's not the big hit. It's not and Drew Litwin's not a guy that's going to hit a ton of balls out of the yard every year, but he did hit one out this year, I guess, at East Texas. Right?
Yeah,
so he got one, but he's not a guy that's going to come up and hit your 3-run home run every time out. So he's not swinging for that, but able to kind of come through and do a job when it needs to be done. And that kind of seemed to be a theme throughout the postseason as well, as Penny's sacrifice bunt that won a game against Whitman that won the series, and then that walk and a sacrifice flag, and not the flashiest plays to make, but everybody kind of willing to do what it takes to move the team forward. Now you get up again, and in the 8th, the wheels really fall off for Birmingham Southern. It all breaks loose. And you guys come through as the recipients there. You put up 8 runs, and you really put no doubt on this one going into the last 3 innings. But you come up with your second at bat. Now, you've got a hurt back. I think you guys are at 5-0 right here. We'll see when I hit play, but you don't necessarily need any more runs. Let's just put it that way. And you come up, and what's your mindset going into this one? You know what, we're going to keep this parade going, or, let's get back in the dugout so we can get back out and take it.
I'm looking to drive the ball. It's the last at bat I'm probably going to have for the season, so might as well go out with a bang. So, I saw a good fastball, and I put a good swing on it and drove it to left center field and got a triple out of it. So
clicked on the wrong one. There we go. Oh, that's still the wrong one. Maybe I queued it up wrong. Well, here we go. Here's your at bat. There it is. That's going to fall in there. We'll rewind it a little bit farther. There we go. So 5-0, 2 outs. You got runners on the corners. And not only do you drive this one into the gap where the center fielder didn't even think it was going to carry as far as it did, I'm sure. But you chug all the way around for 3, man. I mean, you're hurt here. You're not 100%, but you chug all the way around to third. As you kind of round first and see that ball go towards the gap, are you thinking this is mine, I'm taking third, or you have no thoughts of letting up at all? Like, we don't even need me to take the extra base, I'm just going to hang out at second.
Yeah, no, I was definitely running as fast as I could, seeing how far I could get. I think they were still trying to get the ball when I was about to round second. So I was like, might as well just go third, see what Fox says. Fox said, let's go. And I just kept on going then.
So 7-0. You guys put up a few more here in this one, and you're going to 11-0. Your score there is, and he takes that next one through. And now you can even see the dugout right there. So what's the feeling like in the dugout during that inning once you get back? Now you're thinking not are we just competing for a national championship, but now it's really just a matter of time. Like, how many runs do we want to put on the board, and how quickly can we get these 3 outs? So what's the mood like between you and the guys? Or are you guys even talking about the end of the game at this point, or are you just kind of feeling it inside and keeping it in?
No, we were definitely excited. I mean, we were all celebrating, with Mason out there. He still got a pitch, but everybody else in that dugout was just super happy. We were all excited. We knew Mason was not gonna, or our pitching staff for that part was not gonna blow a 7-run lead, even a 4-run lead if we got there. But I mean, we ended up putting, I think, like 2 more across or something, and it was all smiles in the dugout. It was all happiness, and yeah, we're just happy.
What is it about this team? You guys fought back all year. You were never fazed by runs scored against you early. It almost seemed like a deficit early was more commonplace than not. And then you got coming out of losers bracket and face a team in Birmingham Southern that had swept through their side of the bracket. So what is it about this team to be able to kind of fight and ride this high to the end and always come out victorious in the end?
Yeah, no, I think it says a lot about our team chemistry. We definitely all believed in each other, and that kind of shows as we literally came back from more than half of our games. But yeah, we were all family, and we really did believe in each other. We believed every guy who got an opportunity was going to step up and do their job, and that's kind of what happened throughout the whole year.
Now, I know when you came in, the team the year before had gone to regionals. They had one of the most amazing comebacks I've ever seen in my life in the SCIAC Tournament Championship to win that tournament. So I know you came in with expectations. Like, I'm on a team that has expectations to win, to get to a national level, not just to win our 40 games throughout the year. But what is it like to come in as a freshman and kind of be part of something like this that's special, that's that very few people get to actually experience?
I'm just truly grateful, given the opportunities that I got and then coming in on them. Coming into a program like Chapman, who's historically been very, very good, and being able to contribute, it was just great. I mean, but it's a testament to the alumni who helped build the program up and got it to where it is today.
What's the aftermath been like when you got home that summer? What did you do? Did you go out and play over the summer, or did you hang out? Like I said, it's a season and a half. So
yeah, no, so the first thing was I was going to take a week break because at the time I still didn't know what was wrong with my back. Mm-hmm. And then I think I got like an MRI. I got an MRI on the back, and then I got the results, and it was a stress fracture. So then I pretty much had to take the rest of the summer off. So no baseball there. Mm-hmm. But no. So going after that season, my main goal in the off season was to get stronger and put up more power numbers, like extra base hits, RBIs, and stuff like that, because those stats were pretty low for me as a freshman. So I kind of just focused on getting stronger in the off season.
I want to read your stats here for the World Series. You were 11 for 22. You hit 500. You had 6 runs scored, 2 triples, and 7 RBIs, and you missed a game and a half. In the postseason, including all 17 games, you hit 345 with 12 runs. But in the World Series, your 7 RBIs is tied for the most on the team. Now, you're the leadoff hitter, right? I mean, you're not supposed to be driving in runs. You're supposed to be scoring them. But, even talking to Wong a couple of days ago, the lineup didn't have a 1 through 9 necessarily. It was kind of a circular thing where it seemed like anybody anywhere in the lineup could hurt you at any time. And I think that's evidenced by the fact that the leadoff hitter is your leading RBI guy, and your number 4 hitter, had double the amount of runs scored as he had driven in. Do you feel that was the lineup all year long for you? Were you guys just like,
yeah,
what, we're so weak?
Yeah, it was definitely the lineup all year long. You know, you have pretty much three leadoff hitters in Penny, Drew, Aaron, and like 7, 8, 9. So they're gonna get on, and it just kind of worked that way where I would drive them in, get on base for like Hank, Tristan, Joe, for them to drive me in, and it just kind of went full circle. It was literally like a 1-2-3 lineup, and then you have another 1-2-3 right after that. So it was great. I think it definitely translated to this year because we returned the same offense. If you look at the stats for this year, I think me and Hank led the team in RBIs, and Long was always on base. So it kind of just continued over. So, yeah.
What did it mean for you to celebrate these with the seniors in 2019 to send them out? You know, you come in and to send these guys out that I'm sure took you in, and you know, maybe they give you a hard time, maybe not, but to send them out with a national title.
Yeah, no, that was definitely one of the main motivations for me was, you know, I'm a freshman center fielder, and then my left fielder and my right fielder are both seniors. And then you got the captain of the infield shortstop, Jared Penniman, he's a senior. You know, I wanted to win for those guys because, you know, I feel like they took me under their wing and showed me the correct way on how to play the game, the right way and lead the team. So, I mean, I was really just playing for them, and I probably wouldn't be there or be here without them.
Now you told Lav, I know in the celebration there in the dog pile. Did you get in the dog pile, by the way, or were you?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of being in the outfield when you're the home team. I remember I just kind of dropped my glove, looked at Tristan, looked at Alex. We kind of had our little celebration in the outfield. Waited in the outfield. You can wait for them to finish the dog pile, so then you get to jump on after. So I think I was like one of the last ones to jump on with Alex and Tristan. So.
Well, it took him long enough to catch Mason, right? He did
exactly.
He went all the way around the infield there.
Yeah, he made everybody work.
Well, let's see. I thought there was a question in there too that I was going to get to, and I totally escaped my mind now. But all tournament team for you. How are you motivated going into 2020 to you know? Oh, you told Lav, you know, after that you were going to come back next year. Like, we're coming back next year, Lav.
Yeah.
How much do you think you guys are on that track this year, and how much do you believe that this is a goal that's achievable for, you know, not just, you know, a year that was shortened by COVID here, but something that's achievable even in your junior and senior seasons, and if you choose her for a 5th season, I guess.
Yeah, so coming back for 2020, we had high expectations. Obviously, we were returning most of the offense, and then the pitching spots we were losing key guys, or the big three, Mason, Peck, and Hernandez. But we knew guys would step up like Garcia, Cody, and Riley. So I think we kind of figured out like the blueprint to get back there. So I was pretty confident. Our season was going well. Everybody was doing good. We had just one hiccup of a series against Kalu, but I think we were pretty promised and poised, because after that series, we really went off, and we were really clicking as a team, and I had really high expectations. But it's just unfortunate that the pandemic hit and our season got cut short.
Do you think that motivation factor is going to be there for you in the next season when you guys get back? Is it even higher now because you've had a year to sit on it? You're like, we couldn't defend it last year, so now we still have to defend it 2 years later?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's always the goal, is to defend whatever you own. Right now, we own last national championship, so we're going to do whatever it takes to defend it.
And for you, probably a different experience than most of the guys that, you know, everybody had their role in the World Series, but yours kind of changed because of the injury. What images or thoughts or emotions do you take away from that whole experience that are just stuck in your mind? The things that you're going to remember, you know, 40, 50 years from now?
Yeah, definitely getting the red hot on me, because I have yet to put red hot on my skin again, because it's just so hot. That definitely for sure. But then again, celebrating with all my friends and my family, pretty much. Getting to celebrate with them was another key moment that I won't forget. Our team outings at Cedar Rapids, we went to like Outback or something, or no, Texas Roadhouse. That was fun, you know, with the whole team there, just stuff like that, you know, where you bond with the guys that you made the most memorable moments with. It's just something that's irreplaceable.
Well, a year ago today, we were celebrating a national championship in Cedar Rapids. A big reason for that was Brad Shimabuku. And game 2 there, getting ready, taking all of game 1 to get ready, and then getting in game 2 and coming through with a couple huge hits and an even bigger catch in nearly right field when we were playing center. Brad, I want to thank you for joining us. Thanks to Ashley again for joining us too. It's been fun to relive this, and we hope that we're back in the field in the fall for our fall sports, and then back on the baseball field in the spring to see the Panthers can go back to Cedar Rapids in 2021 and see if they can recapture the magic that was of 2019.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Stephen. I really appreciate this and the whole series, as a matter of fact. It's a great job being done.
And again, we started it off, but we want to remind if you want to look for the collegiate athletes fighting for or the GoFundMe, excuse me, for let me get to it. The Collegiate Athletes for Black Lives Matter. If you want to donate to that, search that on GoFundMe. You can find it there, and you can also join in 8.46 miles of work for justice for George Floyd and for raising the awareness and the funds to fight racism in the country. Thanks again, everybody, for reliving this with us, and we'll hope to see you back out the summer. We'll relive some other great moments from the last year. Thanks again, Brad.
Thank you.